Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Buccateers podcast this morning. Breakfast with the Buccateers. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties, but we're good now. I'm your host, Tampa Tones. We're joined by the great Cats. The great Bucko the Bruce, as he's somewhere in traffic going to the Atlanta airport this morning. Cats is with us as well. We're going to be right back here, roll the intro, and bounce right back. You're tuned into the Buccateers, our 94th edition episode, I should say. This is the pregame show, the big one today. Tampa at San Fran. Brady's team against maybe his future team. We'll see what the hell happens. But nonetheless, we'll be back in a flash. The intro will roll, and we'll be here to break down the big one, Bucs 49ers, 4:25 Eastern time. Can't wait. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by the lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks
Donovan.
like Stunna is hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Welcome into the Buccateers, ladies and gentlemen. Tampa Tones, Bucko the Bruce, Cats guiding you through this morning. We'll be here till roughly top of the hour, maybe a little after. We got a lot to unpack. Huncho's in the house too. Can't forget about our boy Huncho joining in here. So we got a loaded house today. And we'll go around and we'll see how everyone's feeling on this fine Sunday morning. You're either with us on YouTube at Buccateers Podcast, Twitter, Buccateers, Facebook, Bucs Life News Facebook, or Tampa Tones Facebook as well. So, big one, 4:25 Eastern today. We're here to break it all down. Battle of the playoff teams, 49ers, Buccaneers. Without further ado, we're going to bring in the damn crew here. We'll start with Bucko since he's somewhere floating around traffic in this busy Atlanta time on a Sunday morning. Bucko, how the hell you doing, my friend? Thanks for cutting out some time and trying to bring us good luck this morning.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm here in a must-win situation, and that's exactly what this Sunday is. But, my brother needed me to come pick him up from the airport, and 75 has got 5 of 6 lanes shut down. So, yeah, I ain't going nowhere no time soon. So we're perfect for the pod. Let's get it going, boys.
I hear you. Hey, when family calls, sometimes you got to answer, right? Sometimes you let that shit ring. But no, I'm kidding. That's awesome that you're doing that, brother. Good luck. Stay safe out there. We wish you safe travels while we're going over the big one. Cats, how you feeling this Sunday morning, brother? Are you confident in our Tampa Bay Buccaneers as we go across country today to take on the very hot San Francisco 49ers?
Oh, I feel fine. As far as confidence, I'd love to say I am, but I bring the honesty, as you know. So my answer to that is no, I'm not.
Hey, that's very fair, and you are one of the. I always pick the Bucs, so you could call me a homer, whatever you want, but you are the man who calls it down the middle. You're always saying your true, honest self. So we respect that. I'm intrigued to hear your score prediction and what you think is going to brew up in this one as we get down.
I hope I'm wrong, by the way. I really do. I wasn't optimistic last week either. I thought, in fact, I picked against the Bucs last week also, not on this show, not here, but in our office pool, and I was glad to be wrong. So we'll see.
Hey, sometimes being wrong is better than being right. You know what I'm saying? So let's hope that this is one of those situations, and we'd love if that were true. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, we're on the upper run. Mr. Hunch, my man, great seeing you, brother. Love the fit right now, my friend. How's your Sunday morning going? Are you ready for the 425 showdown today, or what is your feeling heading into San Fran across the country?
What's going on? I'd like to say what's up to the gang. You know, this is my first time doing it with everybody. Uncle Buckle in the house. What's up, cats? Um, uh, I'm all right. I mean, I'm feeling like cats on this one, man. It's just we had this thing with backup quarterbacks. No matter what team, you know, we kind of perform like shit on defense. So, um, hopefully we can contain the little kid, the Ricky, or whatever the backup quarterback, and you know what I'm saying? Our offense could put up some points, but right now I'm not all aboard about us winning this game. I would like for us to win, but I'm on the fence with it like cats, you know.
And I think that's a good point. You bring up a rookie quarterback. We're playing Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant out of Iowa State last year. We'll get into that right now before we get into our other topics and stuff here, since Huncho brought up a good point. Bucs have had our struggles against young quarterbacks before, rookie quarterbacks or first-time starting quarterbacks. Hunch, since you brought it up, do you think we see those continued struggles today against Brock Purdy? I mean, we might be down a couple key cogs in the secondary on the defense, might create some opportunities for guys like Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Debo Samuel to try and pave their way into our secondary. How do you see it shaking out today against a rookie quarterback? Do you see us struggling like years past, or do you see us stepping up and ready to play?
I mean, one thing I know about Kyle Shanahan, he's going to have some scripted plays. So I expect for them when they come out, they're going to have some nice plays set up for a rookie. For him to probably get in a good groove. I think they probably get down there as previous every damn seems like every damn team drives on us the first drive and stalls out with a three at least 3 points, you know. And I feel like this game might be similar. If he makes some mistakes driving, then yeah. But far as his, I think they're gonna put him in a good position to make some awesome plays. We'll just have to make some better plays and stop, you know what I'm saying, stop their scripted plays. And then from there, if we can get them off their balance, then I feel like we could take advantage, get them in some third and longs, and let Todd does what he does and with the blitz. And then, you know, you got to blitz rookie quarterbacks, make them think fast and make bad decisions. So if we could do that, I feel like we can sustain some drives and come out on top.
Yeah, Bucko, what say you? And one thing I really hope for certain today, I hope our pass rush shows up. I hope it's not one of those games where this 49ers offensive line just has their way with them. I know we've been down Shaq Barrett, and as Tyler Elrod's watching, our good friend from our Red Imputer group chat, thank you so much for liking and joining in this morning, Tyler. We appreciate you, brother. Hunch, I think that's a good point, and I really hope we could get after this rookie. I think when we let these rookies, you know, make their own way and make their time, like Daniel Jones in 2019, they tend to destroy us a little bit. But when we get after the younger quarterbacks, like we did Mac Jones last year on Sunday Night Football, so to speak, that's when we get them off their game, out of their pocket a little bit. Bucko, what say you on us facing a rookie quarterback? Any intimidation because it's a young cat? I mean, he fared well against Miami last week. Miami's been a juggernaut in this league, and Purdy was able to take him down. Whether you say, you know, they didn't game plan for Purdy being the reason or what, but he was able to take down a very hot Mike McDaniel Miami Dolphins team.
Yeah, no, they were. And looking at the film in that game, I went back and looked at a lot of things. Tua, for the first game of the season, missed a lot of throws. There were guys open. The 49ers have a lot of injuries in their secondary also. All these people talking about the 49ers defense. We got a damn defense over here, too. We're number 5 in scoring defense.
Yeah.
We're holding teams under 16 points more often than not. Now, we ain't scoring. It don't matter what defense we're playing, we ain't scoring no damn points. So, before we sit here and talk about Brock Purdy beating us, come on, we can stop them just as easy as they can stop us. I see a low-scoring football game. You know Christian McCaffrey has zero success in his career against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think a new uniform is going to change that. I really think that y'all giving not enough credit to this Tampa Bay defense. And we're going to keep in this game, period.
Hey, I love that. Our defense has been impeccable. I was there the last 2 weeks against Cleveland and against New Orleans last week. And the defense does not let up many big plays. I mean, we let up a couple on the ground to Nick Chubb, but who doesn't? When he's running on the ground, he's probably the best running back, pure runner in terms of running back in the NFL right now. So our defense got a little tired in overtime. They let up a couple big runs to him. But outside of that, yeah, we were fortunate. Amari Cooper dropped one. Taysom Hill got one knocked out of his hands. But not a lot of big plays let up by this defensive unit. And I'm really excited to see us bring the heat against Purdy today. Cats, you think what Bucko said, our defense is going to feast today? We're really going to step up against this young cat?
Well, I think they'll do fine. I don't think that he's going to shred us apart by any means, but they're going to need a little bit more. And they've done a great job, by the way, defensively. Ever since, other than maybe the Kansas City game and some here and there, a couple plays in certain games, they've done a great job. But they're going to need to be even better today on the road against the 49ers due to what I expect to be poor weather, from what I'm hearing. We're not a team we don't run the ball well. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. And we have a hard time sustaining long drives for the most part. So defensively, I don't think they're going to have that he's going to look like an all-pro by any means. I just think that they're going to have to take it to even another level that they haven't quite reached yet this year. And I don't know if they can do that.
We have more so.
Go ahead, Hunch.
I'm sorry. Well, we have more so like the bend but don't break type defense. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I like the way that our defense, when they figure out what offenses are trying to do to them, they kind of slow it down for a while. But we have to attack and get this rookie off his spot for sure if we want to slow him down. I'm not saying he's going to shred us like Kat said, but if we don't find a way to get to him with that pass rush, he can put together some drives.
I agree with that. Get after him. Get after his ass. I want to see him on the ground. I don't care who it is for us. I think Devin White's going to have a big game today. I know that some people have been on his ass this season, deservingly so, time to time. Shout out to the Godfather, James Rubright, tuned in on Facebook. We love you, my man. Thanks for tuning in this morning with us. But Devin White, I think he's going to be all over the place today. I think Purdy's going to wake up tomorrow morning with the imprint of Devin White's face in his mind, because that's how much Devin White's in his business today. I truly feel like Stay Live 45 comes out today ready to knock heads, along with Keanu Neal, who has been a hell of a acquisition this offseason and has really filled some versatility. And the Godfather chimes in with his score prediction. Tampa Bay 24, San Fran 13. We got that coming out of Chicago, out of a Bears fan. He's showing confidence in our Bucs. I love that. We'll get into our score predictions here in a little bit. But 24-13, if you divide 24 by 2, that gives you 12. TB12 rumors heating up as the season goes on. Let's just address those really quick before we get more so into this game. Katz, I'd love to start with you here, brother. Do you think these Brady rumors have fluff to him, or do you think it's Tampa or retirement next season come 2023?
I think there's a good chance he plays again. But I do. But I wouldn't be shocked if it's somewhere else. But I hope it's here. I really do. And I wouldn't be shocked if he came back here. But my gut feeling is he will play again next season. It's a matter of where. That's my gut feeling.
If you had to guess really quick, where would you say? If you had to just throw a dart at the board, would you say Tampa, San Fran, now you're here in New Orleans, blasphemy, where would you say?
San Francisco. I think, yeah, and I'll tell you why. I mean, if you want me to elaborate on that as to why I think he'd go to the 49ers. Obviously, I know that there's some talk about him wanting to be closer to, staying on the East Coast and whatnot. But I think if he comes back, the main reason is because he wants the best chance to win another Super Bowl. And that isn't to say we can't still put forth a talented team next season. Might even be able to get some guys back on the O-line, be a little healthier there. Who knows? Maybe you get a new play caller. I mean, I'm not, but I think the 49ers offer I think Kyle Shanahan is a unique play caller. They have a very talented offensive group. He's wanted Brady before. John Lynch has wanted Brady before. They didn't get him. And I think if they have the opportunity to do it now, I think they'll do it. And I just think that would be a little hard for him to pass up.
Hunch, what say you? You in agreement with Katz? Is it going to be San Fran if he does come back? Is it going to be in Tampa? Will he retire? Where do you see the GOAT residing in the 2023 season?
So I like to say this. I think the you sticking with that motherfucker was Jimmy G or Trey Lance. That whole thing that was circulating around about Brady and saying that. So I don't think the 49ers wanted him at that time. And I think they turned him down. And that kind of sticks in Brady's head a little bit about how you turned him down and when he wanted to come play with you and hopefully get you a Super Bowl. And I also seen a clip this morning. I put it in the group chat with Kyle Shanahan. It was a short clip when he was speaking on how does he have dreams or think about bringing Brady to him to the 49ers. And he was like, I don't know. He was being sarcastic saying, no, I don't. But really inside, he was feeling like, yeah, I should have pulled the trigger on that. But I'm kind of like up in arms because I really don't know if Brady would go because you turn him down. And now would you be like, oh,
I think we might have lost Hunch here for a second. I like where his head was at, though. Bucko, what say you? Do you think that?
I like where his head was at too, because Brady seems like a guy who has to, just to manufacture that chip on his shoulder. It's not there naturally, right? Like he still has to think back to being a 6th-round pick. You know what I'm saying? He still has to think back to everybody counting him out every single year. So he uses stuff and manufactures that chip on the shoulder. So he made, and that's part of. Oh damn! Who started a fire at Katz's apartment? What's going on?
We got all sorts of noises around.
Fucking truck, man.
Nah, you good. You're good. Now, but like I was saying, that honestly, it leads.
Now we got Bucko who
call me, but I'm on the pod. But that leads into what I was saying today, where I think, God damn it, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're buzzing now. We got, I thought I was going to melt down in a fire 5 minutes ago. Now I'm thinking buzzing. Keep going, Bucko.
Okay, my bad. Forgive me, y'all. Like I was saying, I think that's part of what feeds into why I'm picking Tampa to win this game and why I'm confident Brady going to make some plays is, like what Killer alluded to, they are that team. He said, you sticking with that motherfucker? Talking about Jimmy G and the 49ers. Everything that's come out has said that that's San Francisco. And that's his hometown team. That's his childhood team. He's going to come out here with that manufactured chip on his shoulder and want to whoop their ass, is my opinion. And I really think that's something that has merit.
And shout out to 2 people quick. My man Emad is watching in the building. He says, my ass off. He's having fun. Yep. Huncho says, what up? He's having fun with us this morning. And then shout out to David Ferrara, my buddy as well, tuned into the Buccateers live on Facebook. So we got a lot of live viewership right now. One thing I would like to say is this on the whole Tom Brady thing. I truly believe, if I had a guess, I would say personally, Bucs or bust, just given my, I don't have any knowledge or information of that. But he came back this year, whether it was forcibly or not. So we are knowing to be able to bring him back, because if he really wanted to write off us that much, he wouldn't have came back this season one way or another, whether he would have sat it out or, retired for good. But I will say this, where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think it's necessarily as bad as Florio's painting it to be. Like, I think Florio's situation he tried to put out there is totally fabricated, and I think that is zero truth to it. 0% chance that Sean Payton and Tom Brady end up in New Orleans next year. You never see a coach retire for one season, come back. It just doesn't work like that. So I'll put that rumor to rest. The one I do leave open if anything, would be the San Fran door a little bit. But if I had to say, to me, it's Tampa or bust for TB12. I hope I'm right. Well, I hope it's Tampa. I don't hope he retires, but I do hope it's Tampa for the GOAT next year. He's shown he still got it.
I think I got cut out when I was speaking or whatever. I don't know what happened, but
You good?
New
Keep
Orleans.
going, bro.
Where did that come from?
Yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry. I didn't hear that one.
I think that the San Fran. I was just what I was trying to say before I got cut out. If you look at that last game and how we came back at the end of that game, and you seen the joy coming from Tom Brady, the way he was jumping on the players and the excitement. If we can keep him feeling like that and play better and have him feeling like it's a lot of team camaraderie and we look a whole team and he can have those type moments, I feel like he'll be more than welcome to come back to Tampa. But it's the losing that I think he's really not happy with. But those moments, like at the end of those games when you see him jumping on Tristan Wirfs and hugging Byron Leftwich, I mean, those type moments is why I think he came back and why he came back from retirement and why he will stay and play with Tampa for another year or another contract or whatever it may be.
I agree with you, Huncho. I really think it is Bucs or bust if he had a say. But here's a tweet that Florio floated around earlier. Let me find it about the Saints and the Bucs. He might have deleted it already because he could have got roasted so badly for it. I think he actually might have deleted it because I'm having trouble finding it now. I've seen my Saints buddy quote it this morning, though. The tweet itself said something along the lines of, oh, here it was 2 hours ago. Pro Football Talk tweeted, earlier this week, we floated the idea of Sean Payton and Tom Brady finally getting together next year, ... in New Orleans. And that was Mike Florio quote tweeting a Saints reporter saying some columns are more important and difficult to write than others. If Sean Payton is going to coach next year, it has to be the Saints. I find that ridiculous. The Saints be able to pigeonhole Sean Payton.
That's ridiculous.
Right. The only thing the Saints have control over in that whole situation is the rights to Sean Payton. So, yeah, they might do the John Gruden thing, cost an arm and a leg to trade for him, but in zero way, shape, or form will he coach that team ever again, and in zero way, shape, or form will Tom Brady ever quarterback that team.
No, hell.
There's
neither
teams. Neither, right. I don't think you can trade as many picks, I think, as the Bucs did for Gruden. I think there's a rule for that, but I'll tell you this. There's plenty of teams that would give up, say, one first-round pick to get Sean Payton, but at the same time, you look around the league right now, I think he's under contract for what, one more year with the Saints? Am I correct on that?
Mm-hmm.
One more year? I say, you know what? Fuck it. We'll just wait another year. Let's not bother. Let's not hand over a draft pick to these jerks, to these assholes. Let's just wait him out another year and hire him then. He's not going to go back to the Saints.
You can't do that because he retired. So technically, it's like when a player retires, their contract freezes.
Right.
So he has one more year, but as soon as he comes back, they still own the rights. So it doesn't work that easily. However,
all right.
I think they have no money. They have no draft picks. They have no hope. And I love the misery that they're sitting in right now, that poverty fucking ain't shit franchise. There's no way if I'm Sean Payton, I'm going back there in the latter years of my coaching prime. So,
but there's Hall of Fame quarterback on the bench.
Brady ain't going there, man.
I had to throw that in there. I read a book about him.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame, one of one, James Winston still on the bench.
Someone wrote a book about him. And they're all out, and now that one's out to get him, I read, according to The Hive. That's what The Hive says. Man, oh man, he's not going back to a place that he retired from or resigned from if he comes back to coach, which I think eventually Sean Payton will. And the Saints will get a nice draft pick for him. It won't be anything exorbitant. I don't know where he'll go. I'm sure he's eyeing the Chargers, like I've heard, and I would totally get that. I'd want to coach Justin Herbert, too, if I could come back.
That'll be a great.
So, yeah, I think that would be great for him, and the Saints can, get, and the Chargers might jump on that quick. It's a new stadium there. Their tenant, their co-tenant has already won a Super Bowl. Chargers want to make a splash. This year's not gone as well as they might have hoped to this point, so I could easily see that. And, Chargers, wherever their draft pick might lie, they might say, you know what, that's worth it for us. So that I could see.
Right.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens with Sean Payton. Let's hope he is shipped far away if he is. And remember, we did have to trade for Bruce Arians as well, technically, because he only had 1 year left on his contract, but as Bucko alluded to, it freezes or whatnot. But I will say this, I like the Chargers for Sean Payton, and a sleeper team to watch would be perhaps the Colts, because they're going to have a first-round pick, and they're going to draft a quarterback, and then Sean Payton would be able to handpick that quarterback for his team, have a good offensive line, maybe have Jonathan Taylor, and then go from there with that defense as well. I put Chargers as a way heavy front runner. However, I think that's a match made in heaven. But I'm just saying, if there was a second sleeper team to maybe watch, Indianapolis, I'd maybe keep an eye on. But nonetheless, y'all are tuned into the Buccateers. We got the crew in the building, Huncho, Cats, Bucko. Great times ahead. 49ers defensive end late last night, Adam Schefter tweeted Nick Bosa, who was questionable all week, and missed him from practice. It kept him absent from practice all of last week or this week, whatever you consider it. He's going to play today, which might be a problem because, as we know, Donovan Smith, I think he's done decent out there. The thing that hinders Donovan Smith is we got Dwayne Tracy and Egipto Sally in the building. How y'all doing this morning on Facebook? But I think what's danger, Jake Jahemiak is watching. He's live in San Fran, our good friend as well, the autograph king, we call him. He does such a great job, my buddy Jake. He follows the Bucs on the road and meets a lot of them and gets their autographs. But with Nick Bosa, when it comes to him against our team, Josh Wells, Donovan Smith, are we confident in those two holding the fort down against this monster out there on defense, fellas?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Bucko, elaborate on that.
Dude, these are the matchups you get up for. All right, now these are the little average guys, a bum Cam Jordan, the Anyamadas, guys like that who only get up for Tampa Bay. Those guys, you don't really, when you're an offensive tackle, especially a guy like Josh Wells, Donovan Smith, who's been much maligned and drugged through the media these past 2 weeks with all his damn holding penalties, they're going to get up ready to play today. Prime time, game of the week, on the road, you got to show your wares. I really honestly think we're going to pay a lot of attention to Nick Bosa. I don't think he's the one that's going to beat us. I'm more worried about Givens and guys like that on the interior because we're going to pay so much attention to the edges. I do not think Nick Bosa is a main factor in this game like he has been in other contests this year, especially him being banged up, especially with us having not Tristan Wirfs in there. We're going to pay a lot of attention to that guy. He's not going to beat us. I'm confident in that.
And I see what you mean by that. These O-linemen do the nitty-gritty ones like a Wellesley. And to me, Wells, he gets hurt easily, right? But when he does play, I'm not saying he's great, but he's a viable backup tackle.
Yeah.
You don't get many tackles that could hang in there with some of these guys like Wells can. And Wells isn't that big of a guy either, so kudos to him for being able to hang with some of these guys. I'm a Josh Wells guy. He's been here since 2019. His main thing is he gets hurt. I do think he's looking forward to today's matchup as long as Donovan Smith as well. Huncho, what say you? Going to be tough. Bosa's one of the best in the business, and so is this defense.
I definitely I hear Bucko. I hear Uncle Buckeye when he's talking about Bosa, and I agree with him with the injury coming off the injury that might slow him down a little bit. But just to have him back on that field and moving him around on that line, I mean. Wells, he did pretty good last week. He got I believe a holding penalty or two or something like that. But other than that, he played pretty decent. But if they're gonna move Nick Bosa around, I mean, you got to keep an eye on him. I feel like he's one of the top edge rushers in the league right now. So you definitely got to keep eyes and I might want to double him. So yeah, that interior might become a problem on the inside, trying to stop Bosa, but we got to continuously stop him for a whole 60 minutes. Any given play, and he can get to Brady, and that'll disrupt anything. And it's the play calling. I don't know what they'll have lined up. Hopefully, they can get some hurry up offense going early in the game, so they don't give Bosa that time to get to Brady, and they get rid of the ball quickly and makes quick decisions because you don't want to have him going against Wells all game, just back to back to back.
I would try and have Keefe back there a little bit, chip blocking if possible. Anything
He's
you
a
can.
problem.
Anything you can. As we got James watching on Facebook as well. Cleve and me says Buck Nation. He's in the house. That's Joey from Cleve and me. My brother says defense gonna feast. He thinks along the lines as Bucko and Co. Cats, your thoughts on Bosa quick before we move on to some troops that may be down on our defense. Speaking of defense.
Well, I mean, anybody can be blocked. Nobody's unblockable. And I think they're going to, like was alluded to, I think they're going to make sure to pay extra attention to him and say, all right, if someone's going to beat us, it's not going to be him. So I don't think he's going to go crazy against us. No, I don't. But of course, when you devote extra resources to one guy, that's going to leave other guys with favorable matchups. And the 49ers across the board on the defensive line are a very dangerous unit to me. But I agree, you're going to have to pay extra attention to Bosa, though. I don't think it wouldn't be fair to either tackle to constantly let them sit back there and try to one-on-one block this guy. And I would hope, especially if the Bucs are routinely in third down situations, which they average way too many third downs a game, which is what drives me crazy about the whole philosophy that, well, we got to convert third downs. You can avoid third downs. But usually they, I believe, always end up in about 15, 16, 17, 18 third down situations when the defense knows you have to throw the ball and you run a bunch of slow developing routes. There's just no way that they're going to be able to hold on to it for that long. And Brady gets the ball out fast. So again, hurry up offense to start the game is always a good idea. I haven't seen us do it this year. Today would be a nice time to do it. Always would be a nice time to do it, but I don't think they're going to do it.
One of those things that we just look better when we're hurrying up for whatever reason.
I mean, I hate to sound so negative. I really do. I mean, I really, would love to, say that we could just line up and pound it down their throat and so on and so forth. But I just don't see that us being able to do that. So you're going to have to really get. And a lot of teams have a hard time against them. I mean, they're very good. They're a very good defensive unit. Now, Tua did miss some throws last week. He did hit them on the first play of the game with a big play for a touchdown. They shut out New Orleans, which is, not anything to necessarily write home about, but it's still tough. Anytime you shut out another team, it's impressive. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to have to somehow, avoid these unfavorable downs and distances that we often find ourselves in. And I just don't, and I'll get to this, I don't want to ramble on too much. Being able to piece together long drives against anybody, especially a unit like this, is going to be very difficult for us. And I don't think we're going to be able to, they're going to allow the big plays either. So I'll get to that more later when we get into big keys of this game, because I already know the way we can win this game. It's a matter of if we can do it. I don't know, but I already know.
And I think that was Trent Sherfield who got the big catch and run from Tua to open up last week's game against the Niners, and then kind of mums a word there. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Dolphins' offense is surely a little more explosive to this point, just a little bit this year, more so than ours as well. Not saying ours can't get there, but right now, we'll see. But yeah,
I never thought I'd say, I don't think we ever thought we'd say that the Dolphins have the explosive offense and the Bucs do not. I mean, who would have thought? I think Mike McDaniel's a brilliant coach, but I still never thought I'd be saying that about comparatively the two offenses.
If that doesn't scream 2022 in the NFL.
A lot of coaching matters, man.
And Bucko has about 5 minutes left with us. We're going to get him in quick, and then Hunch, Cats, and I will close us out with a couple more topics. But Bucko, we're going to get you in quick. Give us your score prediction, your MVP of the game prediction, and your one big thing or walk-off to watch for today. I know you're at the airport. We do appreciate you joining this morning, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry to have to cut it short, family duties. But, real quickly, I have no doubt that Byron is going to have his best play calling game of the season. We are actually going to move the football, gentlemen, and it's going to be a shock to people. Red zone is still going to be a problem, obviously, as it is against the 49ers. But I think that we attack this team vertically. I think you see Mike Evans finally get involved in the game plan. I do not think that San Francisco's secondary can match our wide receivers if we actually use them appropriately. But if we come out here stale and a bunch of short squatting routes, they can sit on that stuff and pick us apart. I think we attack them early, deep. I think the offense gets rolling. think you see a lot of Shad White. Tampa Bay will win this game 20-16. The MVP will be Mike Evans. And the defensive player to watch out for will be Levante David with a pick or a fumble recovery today. We're going to turn this rookie over, boys. Have some faith. This is a litmus test. If we're really going to make a playoff run, we got to beat this team with Brock Purdy at quarterback. Miss me with that dumb shit.
And Bucko, I think you allude to a great point. If this could propel us to a playoff run, and if we get this victory, all of a sudden you're saying the Bucs beat Dallas, you're saying the Bucs beat a very good Seattle team, and you're saying the Bucs beat San Fran on the road. Your resume is not looking as bad as the record nearly.
Right. This is not Pittsburgh or Carolina. We tend to play down to our competition. I think the team and the coaching staff plays up today, and we have us a nice day. Have the faith, cats. It ain't that bad, Bubba.
I want to be wrong, Bucko. I want to be wrong, and I want you to be right.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all be good, man. Let's go, Bucs. I'm about to go walk in this damn airport. I hate it, but, it is what it is.
All right, Uncle Buck. Be safe.
Be safe, Bucko.
Later.
That was the great Bucko the Bruce joining us, one of our great co-hosts here, and we'll see what happens as the game approaches, and we'll see what happens with the Niners and Brock Purdy and all that good stuff. But I will say, I like the faith in Bucko. I like the Mike Evans pick. I do think Evans bounces back today as Vintage Fly joins us, says Buccateers. Good point. Thanks for joining us this morning on YouTube. I will say with Bucko's point, I think Evans does have a big game today. He hasn't really had too big of a game in the past 4 or 5 weeks. I think that changes today. I do think we'll get into him, but we'll get into that a little more. We got a couple more topics here before we break down the game in our eyes, guys. It looks like Lenny F is trending in today, and it looks like Winfield and Edwards are trending out today. Those guys listed as doubtful. Pretty much when you're listed doubtful in today's NFL, you're pretty much 95% chance of not playing, in my opinion. They removed the probable tag, so you're either questionable or doubtful. So that questionable tag kind of turned into probable, and the doubtful tag kind of turned into your likely out tag. So Winfield and Edwards deemed doubtful. Lenny F deemed trending towards playing, according to Ian Rappaport. Huncho, we'll start with you here. What's the bigger deal in today's game? The fact that we'll have Lenny F to spell Rashad White, perhaps, or the fact that guys like Winfield and Edwards are probably down and out?
It's definitely going to be, I'm going to ride with the defense on this one, and I'm definitely going to believe if you have no Edwards and no Winfield, it's going to be very problematic to our defense. As you know, Winfield he plays that new position, and he's been doing awesome at it. When he's in the game, he makes for sure tackles. He can cover, he can make big plays, and Edwards, he's a ball hawk. He has turnovers. We haven't had many this year, but that's his forte right there. And when those two guys out versus Lenny F, yes, he gives Rashad a break, but I would like to see Rashad more involved in the game. Also, with giving Keyshawn Vaughn Sneak more opportunities. Also, I want to see him and what he can do for us. So I personally think the defense missing those two key players. We got Deebo Samuel, we got Brandon Ayuk, and we got George Kittle to worry about, and McCaffrey to worry about. So those quite some heavy hitters to try to worry about without your top guys, on the field versus Lenny F. You get what I'm saying?
I completely get what you're saying, and I do agree with you. One sigh of relief for me is the fact, and I find it funny, not everybody, again, people out there, don't take me out of context. I should say a lot of people that showed flack early in the season on Jason Light, which was, in my opinion, unwarranted and unnecessary. Every GM swings and misses here and there, but look at the job Jason Light did. You lose Jordan Whitehead because, you can't bring back everybody. You just can't. When you have that many free agents, you can't. People were bickering that we lost Whitehead. What did Jason Light do? Brought in replacements like Logan Ryan, like Keanu Neal, 2 guys have been Pro Bowlers in their past lives in the NFL, and 2 veterans. These guys aren't slapdicks. No offense to guys like Nolan Turner or D. Delaney's or Anthony Chesley's of the world. All very nice players when they play for the Bucs. We respect their heart, hustle, and muscle. We respect what those guys could bring to the table, and we respect them as backups. But to me, when you hear like Logan Ryan and Keanu Neal are your starting safeties, obviously I'd way rather have Winfield and Edwards healthy, have them playing, have all 4 of them rotating. But Cats, when you hear guys like Logan Ryan and Keanu Neal are your backup starting safeties, it gives you a little sigh of relief. Not saying that, you feel as good as you do, obviously, with Winfield and Edwards playing, and I still think that that's a bigger deal than Lenny F playing. But I think Jason Light's done a hell of a job and needs to be a little more recognized for bringing in those replacements like a Logan Ryan and like a Keanu Neal that could make you breathe a little bit easier if you're a Bucs fan, knowing you have those veterans back there.
Yeah, he's put together a really solid safety room, especially when, like you alluded to, when you're missing your top 2 and those are your 3 and 4. Absolutely. Light deserves a ton of credit. You do miss Whitehead, but you brought in 2 guys that have been effective. Obviously, unfortunately, Logan Ryan missed some time. That's just how it goes. But when he's been healthy, he's been more than fine. And Neal is what he is. He's not as great a player as he used to be by any means. And you don't expect him to. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been available for however much we're paying him, which is, I don't think, very much. So, it's good to have those guys there. Last week without them, you saw they defensively overall was a good performance, but the Saints were able to hit some more big plays than we usually give up. Ultimately, Neal came up with the play of the game, though, in knocking the ball out of Taysom Hill's hands, and kudos to him on that. But yeah, it is a bigger deal to me missing Winfield and Mike Edwards. We hope they come back soon because Winfield has done just a little bit of everything this year. Like he's on a Pro Bowl. Having a Pro Bowl caliber season, particularly. So, covering guys like George Kittle, containing him, is going to be even tougher without those 2, Winfield particularly.
I will say, go ahead, Hunch.
I agree 100% with you, Tones, with the backup. Like, good. Thank God we do have Logan Ryan back because he has been a playmaker when he's on the field, and he has the veteran presence, and he is a key cog in that secondary back when with those guys out. And Keanu Neal did make the play of the game. I give that to you, Cats. He did. He definitely needed to show because he was previously throughout that game and previous games he was getting lost in coverage and he was missing plays and not tackling because he's a hitter, and that was a problem for us a lot of the last few games with him just trying to hit and just it came through that hit. The thing that he does the most came through for us last week when we needed it against Taysom Hill. When he hit him, that was an awesome play. And without that play, then the game is over. So he stepped up in a big way. I just was like continue to see him make those big plays like that and just show better coverage ability, especially today, because hitting is not always going to jar the ball loose, and it's not going to always guarantee that you stop or tackle a defender by hitting them so hard. So he just needs to play more consistent. Logan Ryan, I'm glad he's back. He gives you that savvy veteran knowledge, and he gives me that Rondé Barber feel-ish when he's on the field. So I'm happy with that.
And I think that's a great point as well. Both of you brought up many great points, but Huncho, the Keanu Neal being more of a hitter, I do agree with that. And that's why I view him as a great backup at this point in his career and a lower end starter, but still feeling all right with him back there. He's a little slower at this point in his career because of his age, thus leading him to sometimes get a little lost or seemingly lost in coverage. But still, when that's your fourth safety, I'll take that. I mean, that play last week was awesome. But Logan Ryan, when he's played this year, he's looked like one of our best, if not our best defensive back out there. Just the way he's moving around, making plays. Obviously, Winfield's looked better, or Jamel Dean perhaps. But Logan Ryan's looked incredible back there as well. So we'll see how that shakes out today. I'm just glad we got some good backups. I will say one thing quick, though, on the Lenny F front. When Lenny F and Rashad White are both playing, I think our offense becomes that much more dynamic and elusive because those guys are both good running backs in this league. Lenny F looks more fresh when we use him sparingly than when we did at the beginning of the year. To me, we ran him into the ground a little bit at the beginning of the year. He got banged up a little bit. Now, to me, Lenny F is getting his legs back under him. And you could tell when he runs, when he catches the ball, he's running with how he did last year and the playoff run in 2020 with more grit and passion than ever. And Rashad White just has that rookie freshness to him as well. And then you still got guys like Gio Bernard and Keyshawn Vaughn and Patrick Laird, some very good veteran depth just in case things get dicey and you need some injury insurance down the road. So I feel very good with our running back room and our running back situation moving forward. Hey, Mike's back. Mike from Canada. Hey, ho. How the hell we doing, Mike? Awesome to have you back, brother. I got worried about you for a minute. I thought you were lost. I thought we were going to have to put out Amber Alerts. No, I'm kidding. We're very happy to have Mike back. Our number one man and our number one viewer here on the Buccateers. Awesome stuff to have you here. Speaking of Lenny F and running, though, playoff run coming up, fellas. Bucs really put themselves in great position last week with the help of Pittsburgh winning, with the help of us beating New Orleans that took out two birds with one stone. And then you had Carolina on a bye week. Bucs gained ground on everyone last week in our division. We're at least a game and a half up now. We have a head-to-head win over Atlanta as well. We still got a date with them as well. And then we swept the Saints, and Panthers still got to come here. So the Bucs put themselves in a beautiful chance at the division. Now, I will say this. If we want any chance to move, it's still not likely, but if we want any chance to get that 3 seed and avoid perhaps a team like the Eagles or Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs, we're really going to need this one today because as it currently sits, we're 2 games behind San Francisco. If San Fran wins today, no doubt they're that 3 seed. If Bucs could escape with the win today, we move to 1 game back to the 3 seed, and we have the tiebreaker with San Fran then. So that would lead us in a much clearer direction for that 3 seed. If we lose today, we'd be out the door. And guys, listen to San Fran's schedule after us. It's very hard. After this, they're on a short week at Seattle on Thursday Night Football. That's going to be a tough one for them. Then they play the Washington Commandos on Christmas Eve. The way the Commandos are playing, oof, good luck there. Then they're at Vegas, and I know that might seem easy, but the way Vegas is playing, they should have won 4 in a row if it wasn't for some dumb penalties last week against the Rams. Then they end against the Cardinals, and that could be a Cliff Kingsbury fighting for his job type of stuff. So if the Bucs win today, they have the opportunity for the 3 seed because to me, San Fran would lose Thursday Night Football at Seattle on a short week's rest. And to me, they win 2 games most after the Bucs. 2 games most after the Bucs. And to me, the Bucs win 3 games after San Fran. I think we drop to Cincinnati, but then I think we take care of Arizona, Carolina, and Atlanta to end the season. So if we win this one, I have San Fran going 2-2 after this, Bucs going 3-1. That would give us the same record at the end of the year, and that would give us the 3 seed as the tiebreaker would go to us if we could win today's game. Cats, do you think that's a realistic scenario I just laid out? The Bucs going 3-1 if we win here today, and 49ers going 2-2, and us having a obtainable chance at the 3 seed.
Yeah, if we were to win today, that's certainly plausible with the schedule that you just laid out that San Francisco has. Absolutely would be plausible.
Especially with Purdy back there. And Brad Jones is watching on Facebook. Huncho, what say you? Do you think that's plausible? Again, we need to win today or else it's not. But if we win today, we go 3-1. San Fran goes 2-2. We get the 3 seed. Once again, San Fran's at Seattle. Then they play Washington. Then they're at Vegas. Then they play Arizona. So a tough 4-game stretch there.
Definitely a tough road for them. I was just trying to, is Jimmy G done for the year or is that for just a few weeks?
I've heard the rumor is at least a month. So if you put it at least a month, that would mean best case scenario would be a last week return against Arizona. But again, That means he's coming off and missing football for a month and
Trying
whatnot.
to get back in the groove of things and stuff like that.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if we definitely pull, this is not a must win. Every game is really a must win, but just morale and just you're going against a hobbled 49ers team with no quarterback, with a rookie quarterback. So you definitely want to show that you can beat a team that's hobbled. You don't want a rookie coming in and just handling you and doing you like the past. And it's a lot of chips on the table, like you say. If we win this game, that puts us in better position. You know, great. You go into the Cincinnati game with more confidence, and you know you're in good position. So I think things like that matter, especially with this team that have been coming close to victories, but just been coming up short. So if we can pull this game off today, I think, we will be sitting pretty good, and I think we could go on a run. And Cincinnati game might be even more exciting than expected.
And I agree with that. And I will say this as well. Bucko alluded to it a little bit earlier. Then we're going to jump into score predictions, MVP predictions, favorite December activities, and we're going to walk on out of here. But Bucko said earlier we play up to our competition. We always have in this current regime, but now it seems like it more than ever. Under Bruce Arians, we never really laid eggs besides, one stinker here and there. The Commandos and the Bears come to mind. But outside of those games, we never play down to our competition. This year, every week we play down to it seemingly. So it makes it seem like we play up to our competition even more so than ever. Mike says, what's this if stuff? We going to win San Fran? Yes, sir, Mike. We love it. We do think we're going to win as well. And we'll get right into that here with some score predictions and MVP predictions as we're running out of time here. We want to get plenty of time in before the 1 o'clock Eastern kickoffs. Katz, we'll start with you here, then we'll get to Huncho and me. Score and MVP predictions for today, sir. I know you said you're going to be honest. Don't pull any punches, Katz. Let's hear it.
Well, I think the Bucs will put up fairly decent. We'll give this a fairly decent run at this. Unfortunately, I just don't think, unless we're able to force. And I wanted to point this out. I didn't say it earlier. The only way the Bucs are going to win this game, they're going to have to create at least 3 turnovers, in my opinion. And for our defense has done a great job. They've not been able to create turnovers. They have 2 since the Kansas City game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
And one
2.
of those was the interception against Cleveland before halftime. So it was pretty much, a luck in the draw.
Right. And I know why they haven't been able to create turnovers like they did in previous years. I have no idea. I don't really have the answer for that because they've done so many things well. I mean, there's some elements of luck to that. Sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way. But I would hope that they're aware that's the way they're going to do it because I just don't see our offense being able to march down the field consistently and put together touchdown drives against this 49ers team. You're going to have to create some short fields, maybe block a punt, something like that. But unfortunately, I don't see us being able to do it. And I think the 49ers will take this one 17-10.
17-10, you say?
And if I had to pick a player of the game, I think it'll. Yeah, Fred Warner would be my player of the game.
He's tremendous, Fred Warner, one of the best linebackers in the league. 17-10. I mean, you can't put it past this offense at this point in time to only being able to produce 10 points. I mean, hell, we almost were shut out entirely if it wasn't for the last 3 to 4 minutes of the game out of the end zone against the Saints last week. So you can't put it past anyone saying that.
That's why I'm doing it. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to be wrong, but I mean, we only put up 17 against the Browns. The 49er. It's tough, and that's why I said, you can put up points, but you got to be able to create some short fields. Our average starting field position, I feel, this whole season, I don't think has been very good, and we don't get much of anything. Darden was actually having a decent year. I was a little surprised that they moved on from him, but still, I mean, as far as our return game, we've really got very little out of that. The lack of turnovers, so we haven't had a lot of short fields on offense. And you need to play complementary football sometimes, no matter what kind of season you're having. I mean, offensively, we've not been good this year and up to our standards of the prior years. But even the last 2 years, to win that playoff game in New Orleans, we were able to win the turnover battle by a large margin because we'd struggled offensively against the Saints for years, and forcing those 4 turnovers helped us out in being able to, score some points. And no matter how good you are offensively, you're going to need games like that. And if they're going to win this game, that's how it's going to have to happen, in my opinion.
I agree. Turnovers are going to be key today. Could you get a strip sack on the rookie? Could you cause him to throw a bad pass unbalanced? What can you do? It's up to the defense to step up and cause some needed turnovers. Huncho, are you aligning with Cats here in the San Fran prediction, or are you rolling with Bucko the Bruce and the Godfather in the Bucs predictions to take this one?
Man, Cats has so many valid points with what he's saying. It's hard to go against what he's saying because everything is just factual. Like you can't go as facts,
Mm-hmm.
And I think my gut inside me, being a Bucs fan and just hoping that this coaching staff can make a change after last week, after that game-winning drive with Brady and seeing what he can do in the hurry up. Hopefully, I just hope to God that Brian Leftwich just implements that more in this game and they get it and we somehow can catch the 49ers with their heels back and use our weapons, because I feel like with our weapons on offense, if we're healthy and playing nobody can stop us. And we have Julio Jones made big time catch last week, as I expected. Chris Godwin's the dog. He's back being Chris Godwin, making hell of blocks and good catches. Mike Evans and Brady's been just the problem, not really been on the same page. And just think this game, if they click and they're on the same page, then it could be a long day for the 49ers defense. And I don't feel like nobody can stop us, especially with Rashard White coming out the backfield, getting more catches and dump offs and stuff like that, and how he runs. I feel like this game can be put up some points this week. I don't think we'll be able to stop the rookie so much on defense, just because how we bend but don't break. So I'm gonna go with more so 24, probably 21 Tampa. You know what I'm saying? But that's I really say the player to watch out would be Nick Bosa. You got to watch him this game. You got to really watch him and see what he does against Wellesley, and expect a big game from definitely. I'm going to say Chris Godwin. I expect for him to have a big game this game.
So you and Mike are thinking the same. Hey, once rivals, now friends. Mike and Huncho both picking Godwin.
Be a bum this week. I don't want to be a bum this week.
Well, we're probably classified as a lot of things, but I'm gonna go with. Yep, and Mike comments Bosa has a wonky hammy. Yes, he does, Mike. We elaborated on that a little bit earlier. We're hoping that slows him down a little bit, hoping that pivots his production a little bit. I'm going to go with an interesting score here, and I have a method to it. I'm going with a 19-13 win for the Bucs. Yes, I do believe we get four field goals. I think it's going to be one of those type of games for us. I think we find the end zone once. I think we do have some frustration sink in, though. But for that reason, with the 4 field goals, I'm going with Ryan Suckup for the player of the game, too. I think he's going to come up big today. I think he's going to come up clutch today. He's really been good all season. I know he's missed one here or there, but hell, kickers nowadays, you can't really find them anywhere. So I'm really happy Suckup has rebounded, in my opinion, this year. He didn't have a terrible season last year, but wasn't as effective as a Super Bowl year. To me, he's brought that spruce back to him this year. I just see our offense getting creative today. I see us perhaps driving the ball a little bit, but I see us stalling out against a tough San Fran defense. But at the same token of the imagination, I see our defense doing the same thing to their offense. I see them forcing Brock Purdy and company to send Robbie Gould onto the field and try some field goals. So I think this is a 19-13 battle. I think we end up winning by 6, and I think we end up getting an ugly but beautifully ugly win in a nitty-gritty one in San Fran. And really, that's going to be my key to the game is suck up, fellas.
Tones, your boys.
The 49ers make you – yeah. Sorry, I was going to say, if you're going to beat the 49ers, the way they're structured, you have to win ugly, really. You're not going to dominate that particular team. I think that Kyle Shanahan and DeMeco Ryans are fantastic coaches, respectively. You see Kaihan, and aside from in Super Bowls, I guess, but you see him there. He looks like he's so well organized. He's got the pen behind his ear. It looks like he's got everything scripted. And they make you really, I have a lot of respect for him. Remember, he was on the Bucs coaching staff under Gruden, so he kind of got his chance to kind of, grow his wings here in Tampa. And but I mean, it could have, like I said, I mean, sometimes to get a turnover, all it takes is a batted ball, or maybe on a wet. I heard the weather's going to be lousy in this game. Maybe they fumble a snap. The 49ers, that is, we fall on it deep in their territory. I could be right. It all hinges. I think it's close enough, like I said, where it can hinge. Tony Dungy always said a game hinges on 5 to 6 plays. Just a matter of, who's going to make them. And in these close games, it was us last week. The week before, it was not. We've seen on the Pittsburgh game, it was not. No, gentlemen, I hope I'm wrong. I really do.
Well, one guy that's going to help make those five plays for San Fran, and it might be Sean Murphy-Bunting because he's back, I believe, this week. And that might hinder us a little, because he hasn't been what expected to be for a while. And he's going to be out there. And, if he's out there, he's easy money. They can go at him and get those crucial first downs and start driving, go deep on him a couple times. I would also like to see more out of Dean. I feel like Dean got beat a couple times last week. He was getting beat a couple times. He was out of position a few times. He had a chance to block break up a pass. He didn't get his head back. So I just need to see more consistency from Dean this week than last week. And the DBs, they're going to have their work cut out for them. Devin White and Levante David will have to be disciplined with their eyes with Kyle Shanahan's offense, because how he likes to tend to do a lot of movement before the snap. And I mean, he has a very tricky offense. So you got to be disciplined when going against him, or he's going to make you pay for it. So I don't think they're going to put a lot on this rookie quarterback to throw deep down the field shots. It's going to be a lot of trickery and a lot of rinky-dink little plays, and you're definitely going to have to stop George Kittle, because I feel like that's going to be one of their players to watch on offense versus our linebackers. They might try to get him off balance, but we definitely got to contain him. He's going to play a major key today.
Let me add to that. You got to tackle well your secondary, because the Niners do a very good job of getting, guys like Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Kittle as well. You get the ball in their hands and they let, you throw a quick screen out to them, and they're very good in space at breaking tackles. They're very strong receivers. They don't, go deep a lot,
Exactly.
But their yards, I believe they're some of the best in terms of yards after the catch. Our tackling has to be right on point in this game. It's got to be outstanding.
Right.
And that takes everybody. That takes all 11 defenders out there have to be sure in their tackle. If you're missing tackles, then that 5-yard pass turns into 25 yards. Samuel will will turn it upfield, and before you know it, he's broken away.
He definitely will make you pay for it. We definitely will have to tackle good.
Yeah, it's all about the fundamentals, and if we can do those things well enough to limit, and that all of a sudden, because that's how, with a young quarterback. Your offense is going to be, dumbed down a bit. They're smart enough to know that they can't have him being dropped back 40 times or so, unless they somehow fall way behind in this game. So you got to tackle well. And I don't, the Dolphins had their troubles last week, for sure against them. The Niners were able to put up points. The Saints did a decent job. I believe they only allowed 13 points against them, so it can be done. It can be done. I didn't watch any of that game, by the way. The Saints lost 13-0 to the Niners. I didn't see any of it. I just heard talk that the Saints did a great job defensively in that game, and if they can, I'd like to think we could too.
Of course.
That game just sounds like one of those games that doesn't sound like too much fun to watch. Niners, Saints, and I will say we got a couple comments to address in the chat. Then we're going to do our last segment and head out of here before I take a quick look around the NFL. Danny Primero, thanks for joining us, says, is our secondary going to play today? Huncho alluded to it. Sean Murphy-Bunting will be playing today, but Winfield and Edwards are doubtful, likely missing today's game. But Logan Ryan is back as well, just in case that people forgot about that. He returned last week. But he'll play today as well. So we're 2 down, but we are back. Ryan and SMB. Mike says, put me on the last show of the year. That would be an honor. You're always welcomed on, brother. Come on, jump on anytime you want. We'd love to have you on. Last show of the year, we could make that happen for sure. Then he says, Mr. Irrelevant will be a nobody today. Let's hope so. Let's get after it. Let's attack him. Let's make him feel a little uncomfortable back there. And like Kat says, force some turnovers. That would be huge for today's game. Chopper Styles 510 says, let's go with some skulls, with some red. Ooh, you love it there. Everyone's hyped up today.
We definitely got to do some blitzing today. We got to do some blitzing today. I haven't seen too much blitzing this year. Like Todd Bowles normally blitzes. But I feel like today he's going to go in his bag, and he's got to draw up some stuff from Levante David and one of the best blitzers, Devin White. So I want to see him make the rookie show us that he can beat us with his arm, and send for him. Like, you got to send those guys at him, create some shit to just throw him off. I think this is one of those games where Todd Bowles draws up a lot of different blitzes.
I agree with that. I alluded earlier as well. I think Devin White is going to be a key cog in today's game. Chopper says 17 Bucks, 9 Niners. So, hey, we'd like that score. Danny, appreciate it. You're welcome, sir. Then he has, how are we going to help out our tackles today? Yep, we talked about that earlier as well. Chip blocking, Keith, we said we were going to try and keep in sometimes. Lenny F is a good chip blocker as well. So to me, between Keith and Lenny F, you'll be seeing some of those chip blocks and whatnot, and you'll be seeing some extra formations out there with the likes of Josh Wells and Donovan Smith trying to man down this Nick Bosa-led 49ers defensive line. Real quick here, fellas, we're over the hour and 7-minute mark, so we got 2 things left. Then we're going to bounce on out of here. I'm just going to go around the NFL quick notes here. Texans are without Brandon Cooks, Derek Stingley, and Nico Collins today, and Davis Mills will return to the starter today. So Texans are in for an interesting aspect in today's game against the Cowboys. The Vikings will be without starting left tackle Christian Darrisaw, center Garrett Bradley, and safety Harrison Smith today against the Lions. Vikings are heavily banged up there, and maybe that's why Detroit was low-key favored this week as well. Active today, Saquon Barkley, Amari Cooper, Trevor Lawrence, Zay Jones, Michael Carter, and Jeffrey Simmons. Some key inactives are Leonard Williams, James Robinson, and Chris Evans. Interestingly enough, Chris Sims and Mike Florio, they picked 3 games a week to bet. Both of them said bet on San Fran dropping the 3.5 today. Who would have guessed freaking Mike Florio and Chris Sims picking against the Buccaneers? And then you have former President Bill Clinton attending the Eagles-Giants game today, it looks like. So some famous fanfare in attendance over there. Danny Primero says, beautiful, love the podcast, keep doing it. Thanks for joining and keep asking questions. We'll be here every week, at least once a week, if not twice a week. So feel free to hop on anytime. And then Mike says, with the weather like this, Otten kind of day. Hey, I'd love if it's an Otten day, but we'll get into our last couple things here. Huncho, we'll start with you. Favorite December activity, whether it revolves around one of the holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or just your favorite thing to do this time of year. And what's your one big thing and walk-off for today's game, Bucs 49ers? We'll make it a combo one as we bounce out.
All right. See, I'm from Florida. I live here all my life. So we typically don't have the very cold weather. So it's around this time it's outside, and me and the kids, we have a tradition. As you know, I got a bunch of kids, so traditionally, I usually pack them up. We go around and look at the Christmas lights at nighttime and do stuff like that. Go to the Christmas events and little pop-ups where they have Santa Claus and different little things, just to get out the house with the kids. But those events with the kids, the time sharing with the kids, and being on the road and just hearing the excitement when they see how people down south, they decorate their houses like it's a couple streets, full streets with just a lot of Christmas lights, decorations, and just driving through there slowly with the kids and hearing their reactions and surprises and the oohs and the ahs is like, it's a very touching, you know what I'm saying, moment, and it makes you feel good, and it feels good, man. You bring out the hot cocoa and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's good time of the year, man. And oh yeah, just to add on to the end part, what was it? The things to look out for. I believe look out for a good game this evening. I feel like Tom Brady's gonna make sure that. I feel like he has a lot riding on with this. You sticking with that motherfucker shit. It's gonna play a part. This day he has blood out for the 49ers. There's been a lot of talk going on, and I feel like he's gonna show you like, yeah, I'm gonna get you motherfuckers this time for letting me go. We know Brady takes things personal. He smiles in your face, but in the back of his mind, he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to take this game personal, and he wants to step it up and take this team to a whole nother notch, especially after how we won that game last week.
I love that. I love everything about that, especially all the Christmas light stories. Me and my girlfriend actually me and Olivia on Friday night, we drove around, we got our hot chocolate, we were looking at lights, doing all that stuff. And, it is one of those times a year where you appreciate the little things, no matter what holiday you might bring to the table, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas. It's all one and the same. You're there for just celebrating special moments and, not being like Aaron Rodgers and, spending it with people you love. So Rodgers is probably getting cold this holiday season. Mike says,
I am proud of you, Tones. I am proud of you. That
hey,
is
I had to join
outstanding.
the club. I had to join the Cats club on that one. Is he always lets it be known there. Cats, we'll get into your opinion then. Your favorite December activity this time of year, and is it not being like Rodgers? And what's your one thing to watch for in today's game? I think Huncho makes it a good one. It's going to be a good one. So let's tune into that.
For me, it's, also being a Florida guy as well, like Huncho, it's going to be in the 50s, I understand, next weekend. So for me, that means I'm going to be very bundled up because we have holiday party, our second holiday party for work next week, and it's going to be on St. Pete Beach, and it's supposed to be cold. So will I go? Yes. But my favorite part really is having extra days off from work around the holidays, and I enjoy every now and then take a look at the holiday boat parades that we have. Many of them down here in the Tampa Bay area, and they're beautiful. Actually, I have not gone in a long time to the Oakdale Christmas House in St. Pete. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. It's kind of a haunted Christmas house. It's a little bit ridiculous, but I haven't gone in eons. So I always say, "Oh, this is the year I'm going to go again," but I haven't actually done it in quite a while. Mainly I really enjoy getting extra days off from work. We had a holiday party at the fanciest steakhouse in St. Pete this last week, and I won't turn down free food. So that was very nice, and we get a second one next week. And again, I'm not going to turn down free food. And even though I don't drink much, you can get a free drink too, or all you want actually. So I might even have one of those as well.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to get me to drink though, unless it's one of my teams celebrating something epic. And actually, that's happened quite a bit in this last little couple of years. So if they want to keep getting me drunk, they're going to have to just keep winning. I don't see why they can't just keep all of our teams. I think that's fair, right? Yeah.
Hey, that just means the Tampa sports teams love to see the other side of Cats. That's why they've been winning this much lately. But no, that's awesome, man. Boat holiday parades, holiday dinners with the company, extra days off work, as Huncho alluded to, seeing the lights. Everything just makes this time of year that much better, no matter what aspect of it is, besides the chilliness a little bit. But hey, I would take your guys' 50 over here right now with the wind chill. It's murking around the teens, lower 20s in the degrees. So we're a little bit bundled up out here, and that's just how we do. Mike could relate. He says Florida Xmas, Santa and a Speedo, Canadian Xmas, minus 30, weather, food, and family. 50s bundled up. Well, Mike, I went there last week, and it was like 70s, and the Floridians were bundled up, and I was in T-shirt, shorts, enjoying it. But hey,
yep, that's me. Mike is right. Yep, in that regard, I am soft. Yep, no doubt.
That's just part of living down there, though. I mean, if you're used to that weather all year round, you are going to think 50 is a little on the chillier side.
Yeah, no, and when you're near the water, it's just it's just how your blood thins out, and when it's 50 here, it's got a bite to it. Yeah, that's all right though. At least it gives me an excuse to buy, Bucks and Lightning and Rays stuff that's warm weather stuff too. So I don't, so I've got some, variety in my closet. And I can wear my Bucks or Lightning ugly Christmas sweater to the next holiday party as well because I bought both of those things on sale. Even though I knew I only wear them a few times a year, I just had to have them.
And I always wondered that, like, all NFL teams sell all NFL gear, but some states must be better at selling cold weather gear than other states and whatnot. But obviously, me being in Chicago, I love my cold weather Bucks gear and whatnot. So I got all the beanie caps, I got the hoodies, I got all that good stuff. You guys probably only need a handful of it, but thankfully for you guys, you could probably find a pretty good price on the colder stuff once it gets a little warmer in your neck of the woods.
Well, I bought the Lightning ugly Christmas sweater on sale years ago, and I must say it's a very cool sweater. And besides, anytime you go to a hockey game, you need to dress warm anyhow. So that was
freezing in Amway.
Yeah, it is cold in there. But yeah, so anytime I don't embrace the cold, but when I get to wear some of that stuff, I'm a little excited because otherwise, why'd I buy it? I'm not going to ever wear it.
Correct. You gotta love it. You gotta buy it. You gotta rep it. So I'm in 100% agreement with you there, Cats. I love it. Any last words, gentlemen, before we bounce out of here for this morning's beautiful edition of Breakfast with the Buccateers?
Hey, Tones, you better enjoy that weather because you're talking to a guy that never been in snow and never rode a plane. So hey, enjoy.
Hey, bro, you're always welcome down here. I could show you all around Chicago, the snowy parts, the cold parts, the parts where you're like, gosh, why do people even live here? But,
Wow.
I could show it to you all, brother. Just let me know when.
Definitely in the future's plans, man. We got to definitely take a trip down there.
You're more than welcome. Any of my Florida Tampa peeps are always welcome to stay down and explore Chicago.
Definitely get to hang with a celebrity like Tones out there. Should be an experience, man.
No, nothing celebrity here. The only place I'm a celebrity at is some late night drive-thrus around here. That's about all I can think of. But other than that, I'm just living, fellas, as we all are. It's been a great Buccateers. We had a great crew today. We had Huncho, we've had Cats, we've had Bucko. We were just down Stunna. And he was at church today, so can't blame the big guy there for missing today's show. Let's hope he's putting out a prayer or two for our beloved Bucs as we head across country to San Fran today. Once again, 3 out of the 4 had the Bucs. Cats has San Fran in a close one. We'll be back next week. Man. We're gonna, go Bucs, man. We're gonna try and get in 2 shows next week. We haven't gotten a post-game show in a while with the guest, but that's because these pregame shows have been doing superb in the YouTube world and the Facebook world in terms of viewership closer to the game. So we appreciate it. Any last words, gentlemen?
Forcing turnovers
and Hunch heard the music and he said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So that's when it's time to pull the plug, fellas. Cats, thanks again for riding shotgun. On behalf of Huncho and Bucko, we love and appreciate each and every one of you. We got a couple last minute comments. Mike minus 39 last week in my city. That would be shut down entire state. Emad said, good talk, fellas. We appreciate that. And then Mike says, see you boys. Be safe. Let's go Bucs. To Mike, to Emad, to the rest of the commenters, we really couldn't.
That's my guy right there, Emad. That's my guy.
Oh, Huncho arose for Emad. There we go. So Huncho is still here, but we couldn't do it. We couldn't do all these shows without the comments from you guys. So we really do appreciate that. And be on the look for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa giveaways, whatever you classify them as. I made up some perfect little packages, and maybe on a Victory Monday tomorrow we might debut some of those Christmas giveaways, Hanukkah giveaways. Be on the lookout, fellas. It's a beautiful day here on a Sunday nearing the holiday season. Tones, Huncho, Cats, Stunna, and Bucko were out of the building. Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Bucs fans were there too. Eating Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No,